What's up, guys? Let's get started with a brand new player's full walkthrough guide of Path of Exile Affliction. So, starting right off, you're going to have to obviously download the game. I mean, I think this is kind of like self-explanatory, but you log in, and one thing that is important when you create a brand new character is you need to make sure you're selecting the Affliction League. So, I obviously have a bunch of characters, but you're going to have to create a character, so you click on that. And this is important. Make sure that this one is selected, Affliction, okay? And do not check any of these boxes. These boxes will make the game much more difficult, and as a brand new player, you definitely don't want to make it difficult, as Path of Exile is a very difficult game already for beginners. So we're going to walk through everything in the entirety of the game. Now, I do want to go ahead and mention what our plan is for those of you guys that maybe have followed me in the past and you're interested in see what we're actually doing. Everything will be in the pinned comment for all the other third-party tools and or downloads if you guys want to engage with them. But if it's your first time playing the game, don't worry too much about downloading third-party things like little builder website like tools or different sounds, but I'm going to be using them for the gameplay, but you don't need them, and I'll kind of explain things as we go along. But I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys this little tree over here. This is the brand new Warden Ascendency that we're going to have access to, and this is part of one of the newer things of many newer things coming out into the game. I'm not going to overwhelm you guys with too much content, but in terms of what our plan is, we're going to be using the new tinctures, and we're going to be using the Warden class to get extra defenses. So basically, we're going to have more damage and more defenses in this new league. On top of that, I figured I'll show you guys what we actually plan to build for the gameplay session over here, as I am going to be playing one of my favorite builds in the game as my league starter. So, for starting right off, I'm going to show you guys kind of what to expect with the gameplay in terms of what we will eventually build in the game, and then this way you guys have an idea of like how cool this build actually is. And here's what the gameplay will look like. Keep in mind, this is towards the end of the game. This is what you can expect the exact same character that you're seeing gameplay of in the very beginning to eventually get to. So what our build will actually do is it will have infinite teleports, and you will not need to aim anywhere, and all these arrows will just start shooting everywhere, and it's awesome. And they can ricochet off of other monsters, or if you want to, you can have them ricochet off of walls, and you'll basically be able to complete maps in about a minute. It's a really fast build, and it is relatively budget friendly, with the exception of getting one ring, but it's within reason at least. Sometimes prices will fluctuate, and what I mean by prices is basically think of like the gold cost. In this game, they cost like the divine orbs or chaos orbs. That's a form of currency, but basically that is what we plan to build. If it's your first time, I recommend you guys to just copy this build exactly, and then you'll have a lot of fun with it. And then eventually you can make another character or change this character into something completely different. The beauty with Path of Exile is you can basically build whatever you want in the game. So now that we got kind of some of the intro things out of the way, let's finally get started. So we're going to make sure we select Affliction here. Let's go ahead and select the Ranger, and then you're going to have to name your character. So I'm going to call the character Affliction after my username. And the reason why it's helpful to do this is because that way you know exactly what league it is for the hero. It just helps out later. I'm going to skip all the tutorials, but I'll kind of explain things as we go along. So at the very beginning, you're going to have to pick up the only item that's on the screen. So if you want to change your controls, now is a great time to do it. I like to use Q for my move only, and then that way I just use my mouse for aiming. So if you guys want to copy my settings, and there are a few settings I think are very important to actually copy over. So I'm going to move my face out of the way so you guys can see all of my controls in terms of what I have for the inputs. You don't have to copy them exactly, but I'm just showing you some of the things that I have set up over here in terms of the gameplay. Now, there are some things that are really important. So one thing that's really good is under UI over here. There is this thing called Landscape Transparency, and I want you to look at the top right. Drag this one all the way to the left because it'll get rid of all of the extra clutter that is unnecessary for your map. I also like the transparency to be all the way there so I can kind of see it the whole time. And then as far as the map zoom, I like to zoom all the way out. This really helps out with finding objectives, as the game eventually will get into areas where you're going to have a quest, right? And some of these quests, it'll kind of point you in the right direction if you're able to zoom out and see everything. So that will help out a lot. So as far as the game goes, if you want to change any like the different rendering options in like your resolution, this is like whatever. But the main important thing that I wanted to go over was specifically under the UI. If you want to copy my settings for some of these, feel free to go ahead and do so. But this is what I'm using, just so we're kind of in the same page here. But don't worry if you don't want to copy all of it. It's just that specifically that landscape transparency, it does help out. So at the very beginning, you're going to have to left click on the bow. You have your potions. These heal, and then these ones give you mana. When you run out of mana, you can't use your skills that cost mana. So at the very beginning, we're going to have to kill this guy over here. And we're going to get Burning Arrow. So this is where the game gets complex. You take your gem here and you put it inside the green holes. So I'm going to reference a little bit of Diablo 4 stuff, or just Diablo in general, because that's a game where I think a lot of you guys have probably followed me for. So I'm going to also put on the skill bar and make E my Burning Arrow, so that's going to cost mana, and it's going to set them on fire. And that's going to do a damage over time. Now, the potions in this game, they don't recover over time. They recover over killing enemies. Now, you can make them recover over time. Path of Exile is one of the most beautiful games when it comes to what you can do in terms of customization. So, killing enemies will help out, but don't feel like you have to kill every single enemy on screen. Just kind of move, shoot, and looks like we gotta go down over here. And if you want to open up this map over here, tab is the button that you will be pushing. And then obviously, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s correspond to the potion that you will be using in the game. Oh, we're going to click on this chest, and we're just going to get another support gem. So, how this game works, and this is where it gets complex. I'm going to take my support gem, and you'll always get this one at the very beginning. You'll find this chest. And then you want to put Burning Arrow linked to momentum support. So we have active gems, which are going to be our skills. The support gems are basically buffs. So this makes it so we gain a momentum when we use our supported skill, and gaining momentum is going to increase our attack speed. And then once we reach 3, we're going to lose all momentum and gain swiftness. It grants increased movement speed. So we have Burning Arrow, which does the damage, and then we have the momentum support, which supports this. And they have to be linked. See how like there's this little like yellow thing? That indicates that they are linked. And if they're not linked, then the Burning Arrow will not get the momentum support. And continue. And if you see any items in the very beginning, pick them all up. Eventually, you're just going to start selling all of your items. And you can trade them for in-game currencies from the vendors in the game. And when I talk about like trading in the game, I'm talking about like trading items with other players, not like actual like currency. So currency in this game is used to actually modify your items. But yeah, there's going to be a really awesome beginner-friendly build, and it will be able to scale infinitely. Normally, for speedruns, you would not run your chest piece because it would slow you down in terms of movement speed, but don't worry about it too much. This is going to be a beginner-friendly guide, not like necessarily like a speedrunning guide, but I do know a bunch of the speedrunning strategies for this game, as I do like watching people do certain things. Now, you can see we're out of mana, I'm out of potions, so I just have to left-click until this guy goes away. Or I can go kill some smaller enemies, or maybe even level up, and I can actually get extra flask refills on kill. You can see the mana regen is going to be very, very, very slow in the beginning. There we go, got him on fire. And he's going to hit very hard, so this is the first like boss in the game. He's pretty easy though. Alright, pick up every single item that you see. And if there are any upgrades, like different, like, you know, links, that would be good. But now we're going to go into Lionized Watch, and we're going to continue and progress. So now we have a skill point, and don't be overwhelmed when you see the skill tree. It will seem crazy, but eventually you'll get the things down. So we're going to go ahead and put in a point over here. So you're going to click on the point, and then you just hit Apply Points. And we are going to continue. So the first thing we're going to see is the waypoint. And if you see any waypoints, just click on them. It's basically a way for us to travel, just like in Diablo or any action RPG. If you see any exclamation marks on the people's heads, that is going to be a quest. And you see, just because we completed that, now we get a set of different skills that we can choose from. In the very beginning, Galvanic Arrow is actually okay as well. It lets you shoot multiple arrows, and it's kind of cool. We're going to go ahead and we can run this one. If you want to choose any of the other ones, by all means, go for it. Just don't select Frost Blades. If I mouse over, you'll see that it says Lightning, it's an attack, it's a projectile, it's AoE, and a bow. You just want to select one that has a bow. You can choose the one that you want, but for the sake of this, I like this one. This or Split Arrow are kind of nice because it just has extra clear speed. So now we're not going to be playing Burning Arrow anymore, so how I do that is I can remove this gem, and then I'm going to put this other gem in. Now if I still want to play this, I can put it somewhere else, but I would rather have my main skill, which is going to be now Galvanic Arrow, linked. I'm going to have to also add that to our skill bar, or I can put like Burning Arrow on a different one. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go talk to Nessa, and we're going to hit sell items. Anything that we don't have equipped, we're just going to sell. And we're going to get these things called scroll fragments. Once we collect 5 of them, we get a scroll of identity, or they call it scrolls of wisdom in this game. And then we can go to purchase items, and we can see if there's any items that we could actually get. Now, at the very beginning, getting any iron rings can be definitely pretty helpful. I mean, heck, this ring over here would give us so much HP. Look at that. 29 to life. That's pretty good. I actually just want the damage, so I'm just going to go ahead and select this. And we're just going to have a nice ring. If you don't happen to have the currency to buy the ring, don't worry. It's not a big deal at all. But I just want to get that so we get a little bit more damage. And then we're going to go ahead and continue to the coast. So we're exiting the town. It's basically where you see all the other players. And we're going to continue. And you can see now we have a different skill. And now we have kind of this thing where it kind of shoots out. Oh, also... Z as in zebra is going to let you see all of the things by default, like all the things that are clickable. And if you click on these, are like little barrels, you can get items off of them. So it can help out. And galvanic arrow is one that you're going to need to be a little bit closer to. It doesn't have like a big, like, it kind of shoots in a cone. But I like it much better because it has better clear speed than, you know, obviously shooting with one target at a time. Now our gem has just leveled up, so you'll see in the top right over here we can put in a little plus sign. Just click on it. In the very beginning you want to upgrade all your skills. Eventually though, you may not want to upgrade your skills, but this is very niche and it's for very specific reasons, and we don't really even get into that towards maybe the end game. We can talk about that a little bit more. There are certain things that you don't want to level up, but in the very beginning just literally pick up everything until your inventory is full. And if you need to drop anything to pick up something else that you actually want to use, that's fine. It's just in the very beginning, we're poor, so we got to pick up everything so I can sell it to the NPC, so we can get scroll fragments to identify our items. If you see any clickables and you want to like hear about the lore and stuff, feel free to go ahead and do so. But ideally what you want to do for this little walkthrough full entire play session, because I'm going to show you guys everything with this game, we're going to do the entirety of the game, is put this on another monitor, put this on your iPad or, I don't know, your phone. This is going to be the full walkthrough guide, because you can't really explain Path of Exile to someone in like 20 minutes. It's like just legit impossible. So the full walkthrough is what we actually plan to do. And a lot of times with Path of Exile, your goal is to shoot and then move. This helps with not taking damage. Oh, we got an item. So if you see items on the ground, you can pick them up. And if they're in gold, that means it's a currency item. So a currency item is something that we can use to trade or modify items. I'm going to swap this to this, because our character will be based off of evasion. There's armor-based characters, energy shield characters, and just because we're playing the ranger here, does not mean we are stuck with only running this. You'll see this waypoint. Your map may differ from mine. Keep in mind this game is an action RPG that has randomization. So there's going to be 2 exits here, and we want to go down over here to this one. The title island. This is going to give us a item called the medicine chest, which is required for a quest. So I'm only going to be doing the important quest. We just leveled up, so we're going to put in another point here, and we're going to be pathing down, and we're going to get extra movement speed, extra damage and stuff. But I will also have the POB down below for any of the people that are like a little bit faster. That like I just want to see the whole thing, and then they can maybe throw it on another monitor. It'll just be kind of there as a guide. But yeah, we want to get this medicine chest because it's going to give us a quicksilver flask. And this is going to increase our movement speed. Because in the campaign, there's a lot of walking around going from point A to point B. If you see any item that has a red, blue, and green linked, as in this item right here, see how it's all, like these ones are linked, right? Remember how we have the galvanic arrow and the momentum support? We want to actually have as many links as possible for our main skill. So if this was like an extra green, I would throw my stuff in there. And we're coming up to a boss over here. It's actually quite a difficult boss because he actually can slow you down. So shoot once and move. If he hits you, you will be chilled, which will slow your movement speed. And since he's a single target, we can set him on fire. We can still use our burning arrow if we happen to have a color with it, but it's fine. We can just spam galvanic arrow till he's dead. Pick up everything that we possibly can. And then now we're going to go back. Now, we can walk all the way back here, or I'll show you guys a speedrun strat. So you go here, and you go to Exit to Character Selection. And you just go double-click on your character, reload it. This is going to save us town portal scrolls, and it is pretty key to speedrunning. And while this isn't a speedrun, like, gameplay session here, it is so much more efficient, so many times to log out. So now we're going to talk to Nessa, and we're going to get a reward. 100% select the Quicksilver Flask. And then we're also going to get another support gem. I want to go ahead and select the Mirage Archer support. I'm going to go ahead and grab that gem. Now we can't use it to level 4, but it'll be useful. Okay. Now we are going to go back to the waypoint over here. We're going to click on that, and we're going to go back to the coast. Actually, what we should have done first is sold all these items so we're not cluttered here. So let's go ahead and sell all of these items that we don't need. Now, if you need some of these items checked, you could maybe have a bow that's an upgrade. I mean, it's just random because it's an action RPG. We're not going to have the exact same play experience. It's like impossible. But do not sell these. These we want. Okay, now we are going to go ahead and purchase some items if we can. So we have an extra 4 Scroll of Wisdoms. Ideally, what we do want to look out for is any rings that can give us cold resistance. That can be actually quite nice to have. But mouse over the item. Sometimes you'll see an item that may give you, like, this one's really, really good, but I don't have the currency for it. So it's not going to be something that we can get. We can get extra iron ring. We can get some more damage. I like to get as much damage as possible. You can also look at this vendor. There's 2 vendors in the very beginning, so we can go purchase items. We can see if there's any boots with movement speed. You can type in the words NN in here, and it will show up with movement speed. But you can mouse over, and maybe there's a bow that has like different colors. Maybe there's a 3-linked. If there was a 3-linked bow, I would want to pick it up. Although I just have 1 Scroll of Wisdom at this point. So if we want to, we can buy some boots, but we want boots with movement speed. If it doesn't have movement speed, I really don't want the boots. I don't care about how much stats it has on it for the most part. If it doesn't have movement speed, I don't want it. Oh, let me move my face out of the way so you guys can see. So in order to use the waypoint, we just click on it, and just like Diablo, you click on where you want to go. You have to unlock the waypoint. So now that we got the medicine chest quest reward, which is the Quicksilver Flask, we're going to be level 4 before we can use it. And then now we're going to go to the Mud Flats, and we're going to acquire some seashells for the next part of the quest. Oh, this is the new mechanic. Let's go ahead and engage in it. Sometimes, honestly, it's not even worth engaging in the new league mechanic, but this is Path of Exile Affliction, so let's go ahead and hop right in. And some of these are like so impossibly hard in the very beginning, like during like the first few levels. You're not really supposed to be doing these, but it came up, so let's go ahead and try it, and let's see if it's even worth doing. Oh yeah, these are quite tough. Oh, we are frozen. Wow, that thing did so much to us. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this. We have the boots equipped now. Oh, this is just death right here. Usually, yeah, this is going to be way too ridiculous to even bother. So what we can do is we can log back out. And honestly, it's not even worth doing in the very beginning. So at least we try to engage with it. Legitimately, this is good though, because it shows you that it doesn't really matter too much in terms of how good you are as a player. I've got thousands and thousands of hours in this game. I have a bunch of the achievements that are for the 0.01, and we actually could not realistically complete that in Act 1. Now, later we can engage with the newer mechanic, but it's good that I at least show you guys kind of, you know, there's a new mechanic, but you can't engage with it. I honestly don't know why they do this, and it's in several of the leagues. They've done this so many times again and again, like Crucible and stuff. If you pushed the thing too far and you would start it in the very beginning, it was like impossible to complete at lower levels. So that's part of the new league mechanic. Again, we'll engage with it every act. We'll try it out again and we'll see if we can do it. But sometimes it's actually not even worth doing in the very beginning, not only because it's too difficult, but the rewards won't be there. And it'll also slow your time to getting towards the end game, because the end game in Path of Exile is so much better. Oh, nice. We got a ring, and it is a blue ring, so it requires us to identify. The only game I think that lets you equip unidentified items is in like Diablo 1. But now we have +1 mana on enemy kill. That's great. By the way, the game does not pause, so if I like open this up, I can still be getting attacked. And now what I want to do is, I like getting extra attack speed in the very beginning. Later we can respec certain things, but having attack speed in the very beginning is so dang good, because it makes the game feel better. And we're going to upgrade all of our little support gems here. And now we hit level 4, so we can equip this. And I'm going to equip Mirage Archer here. I'm going to show these real quick. And instead of running momentum support, I wish I had 3 green all linked together, but I don't, so I'm going to have to remove momentum. And now when I shoot, you'll see that there's a little like clone above my head. It's a little like a green like ghost. That activates whatever bow skill that I just used as a support gem. It's going to activate that as well. And it's awesome. Ideally, I would like to get the momentum and that 1 link. So if you hear any sounds in this game, it's because I have what's called a loop filter, and it makes certain sounds when like quest objectives drop. It's not that big of a deal. It's not going to give me a huge advantage or anything. There's nothing that you can buy or download that's going to give you a advantage in terms of like doing things. It just makes things a little bit easier and smoother. But I will have in the pinned as well as the description a bunch of different tools. If you want to engage and use them, feel free to go ahead and do so. But in the very beginning, I know a lot of people may not want to engage in the newer like downloads, and like when people just start a game for the very first time, they just kind of want to play, and I totally get that. So we're looking for 3 seashells. It's required for the next quest objective, so we got to go down over here. So just like the mana and life flasks, if we activate the green flask, which is the Quicksilver flask, it's going to give us increased movement speed. Grab the Scroll of Wisdom and keep on going. And there we go. We see the last quest objective. So you look for 3 seashells. There's basically 3 objectives. And there we go. And now we are going to continue. Pick up any of the yellow items, because these could have some more mods that we could be looking for. Alright, so let's see what this one has. Wait, oh, we don't have enough intelligence. We can't use it. And if you see any chests, just click on them. You could get some items off them. I mean, most of the items are going to be garbage. But we need to get those Scrolls of Identity or Scrolls of Wisdom in the very beginning, so it helps out. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. We have another skill point. I'm just going to get more attack speed. 12% attack speed will make the game feel so much better. I'm going to pop the Quicksilver flask, and we're going to now take our seashells over here and put them into the wall. There's 3 seashells that you have to collect, and then now we are going to go into the submerged passage. So let's go ahead and continue, and you'll see that there are these new areas, the Wildwood. That's for the new League mechanic. That's the brand new seasonal update, but again, you can't engage with it. Why they put it at level, like, you know, under 5? It's not going to be worth it, because just from any blue monster in there, it's just going to be a RIP. But we'll check it out every act. We'll see if it's actually worth it. Okay, there we got a large life flask. So if you want to replace it, you can just throw it on the ground. You can actually take 3 of the same flasks, and then you can upgrade them. Oh, we're not level 6, so we can't even use that one yet. But any of the blue monsters that you see will be a little bit more tough. And grab the Coral Amulet that gives us extra life regen, which is actually quite nice in the very beginning of the game. So we're going to go swap this. And let's continue. So just keep on shooting and moving. I like the life regen one because it keeps us topped off. Makes it much easier. So in this area, the submerged passage, there's actually 2 different exits. Let's see what we get. So we got the flooded depths. That is ideal to go towards. Now, in this instance, it's not that bad that we go towards this first. So one of these has the next like area that we need to go to, and one of these has the quest that will give us an extra skill point. So there are quests just like in Diablo 2 that will give you a skill point if you do complete them. So we're going to go ahead and complete this quest. Remember, don't go down these. I would say it's not worth it in Act 1, more than likely. We're going to get even more attack speed. Any red, green, and blue linked, we want to pick those up. Grab all the Scrolls of Wisdom. Ooh, nice. We got some boots, maybe. Maybe we got boots with movement speed. I'm going to run that. Okay. Fortunately, no movement speed, but it's still nice to have any upgrade. And where's that momentum? We should actually level this up still. Even if you don't use the skill, you can still level up the gem in your inventory. Just have it equipped into any slot that happens to reach the right color. So in this game, I didn't explain the colors, but the green gems go in the green holes, the red ones go in the red holes, and the blues go in the blues. And the white sockets, anything can go in them. But we probably won't see new white sockets unless it's like something very special drops in the campaign. But yeah, the little Mirage Archer thing is so great in the very beginning. We see an elite over here. Now, be a little bit more cautious when you see the elites. Remember, our little ghost thing will attack for us, which is awesome. Alright, so here's the boss. This boss may be a little bit difficult, but we can get it down eventually. Just remember, shoot once and move, and you'll have a much better time. Oh, if it does chill us, we can become frozen, and it also will make us slower when it does chill us. But if you die, don't worry, there's no penalty really for dying in the very beginning of the Path of Exile. In the end game, when you're like level 90, the punishment is you lose XP, and that matters towards the end of the game. But in the very beginning stages, it's no big deal. Alright, let's see what we got. We got gloves. Maybe these gloves can be an upgrade. So now that I've completed this, to save a portal, and instead of walking all the way back, I'm just going to go back to login screen. So this is a nice little tactic. So once you kill that boss, there's nothing that you need to pick up for this quest, but you just need to kill the boss, and then now we're going to go back in, and we're going to go talk to Tarkly, and he's going to give us a book that's going to give us a skill point. So we can also get another reward, so we can get Shrapnel Ballista. That's the one I want to pick up. Sniper's Mark is actually really good as well, but I want to run the Shrapnel Ballista for now, because the Sniper's Mark is only really used for elites. So I'm going to grab this, and we're also going to grab Dash as a reward, and we're going to get a passive skill point. So let's go right-click on this. It's going to give us a skill point. I'm going to throw Dash in one of mine, and then in another one. These are two linked over here. However, we did get these gloves. Let's see if these gloves give us anything. Hey, that's not bad. Oh, so people are doing like certain like sounds in town, so okay. So we don't really need to run this burning arrow anymore. I want to run the Shrapnel Ballista, and I want to run this. And then with this, this is Dash. I want to put this in somewhere, but I don't have an extra. Oh wait, I do have a green one. Perfect. And then the rest of the items, we are just going to vendor off. So we're going to sell, and then we're just going to vendor off all these items that we don't need. We could keep this ring though, because I can maybe throw a mod on it. And we don't need burning arrow anymore. Okay. And now we have some extra scrolls. So let's see if we see any other items that could give us an upgrade. Is my face? No, my face isn't really blocking these. So there's not really anything I really want right now. A sapphire ring is really good. Ideally, we'd want to try to get 2 sapphire rings, and we could just save them for the boss. Hopefully, we can find a bow that has 3 links. But or we get movement speed? No. Again, you could just type in the keyword NN and it would just search it for you, but nothing available for us right now in terms of an upgrade on a bow, really. What is this? 5 to 13? I mean, this is more, but I don't have those 2 green links, and that is more important than the other thing. We have another skill point, and we're just going to go get this now. Extra damage. We're actually going to get some more damage over here, and we're going to try to push for maybe grabbing this, and we can also go down over here as well. There's actually some really nice resistance nodes to get. We're actually going to get extra elemental damage as well, which is great. And then now we're going to go right back to the submerged passage over here. So now we're going to continue. And if you ever want to open up a new instance, if you hold Control and left click on the area, let me actually show you this because this is maybe useful for later on. So if I hold Control on my keyboard and I left click on the area, so if I hold Control and click on this, I can open up a brand new instance. I'm going to enter my old instance here, and the reason why is because I already have like the map discovered, right? I already know that the boss was down here, and now I need to go to the right. It's not always going to be like this, but most of the time, like towards the right side in the submerged passage is the exit. But if you happen to find the other like boss area, you can do that first, or you can go to the other area. There's going to be moments in this where it's not 100% exact, because the map kind of is. There are some areas that if you play the game long enough, there are pieces in the game where you'll understand kind of how they connect, but there will be other instances where, I mean, your mileage may vary, as there is randomization with this game. Oh, we got a quiver now. Nice. And we're going to use, since the quivers are kind of rare in the very beginning. Oh, this is a three linked? Oh, that's so great. That's amazing. Okay, so now I can throw this in here. And I can put my skills in here, and I can swap my bow. Is this momentum? So now I can run Mirage Archer, Galvanic Arrow, and this is going to cost more mana. Oh, we also got Dash and another skill. So I'm gonna put on my right click, I'm gonna put the shrapnel ballista that we got, and then our dash I'm gonna put on W. So I can hit dash and it's gonna dash for us. We have another skill point, I'm gonna put that in, and I'm gonna get more damage here. Okay, we got some extra mana here. The extra quiver. Get some more damage, and you start to see our damage start to ramp up quite fast. Yeah, in this game. So we have this quiver. Now these are both 1 to 4 damage. I'm just going to use a transmute on this just to show you guys what it does. So it upgrades a normal item into a magic item. So a normal item is white, a magic item is blue, and a rare item is yellow. And the uniques are like in a bronze. So if I click this, I right click on this, and I apply it, it's going to give us 2 to 3 physical damage and 3 dexterity. Hey, that's awesome. Can I add a new modifier to this? This is what augmentation does. I can't because it has no space for mods because it's only a blue item. There are certain things that you can modify in the game, and depending on the rarity or the item type, you can get certain rolls on them. But yeah, like I said, you may not have an orb of transmutation, you might not have a quiver, but I'm trying to show you guys all the information that I can. But yeah, bow is just so great. In fact, it's like, I want to say it is arguably like one of the best for starting out for new players, because a lot of people like the bow playstyle, and if you want to later, again, if this is your first time playing the game, just copy this exactly. But later, if you want to shoot out fireballs, you want to do other things, the ranger can go into Deadeye, which is what we plan to go into, which is more of a bow focused thing. But later you can swap to the raider, which can be basically a jack of all trades. Oh, we also have an upgrade on the flask, so let's swap that. We have another movement speed flask, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap it to have 2 movement speed flasks, as I like to go as fast as possible. Now I only have 1 life flask, which is a little bit dangerous, but it's okay. If you die in Path of Exile, don't worry about it. The game is not easy. I go ahead and grab this as well. Ooh, leveled up. Nice. Okay, chromatic orb. That will change the colors on the item. And we can actually hopefully get an upgrade on a bow very soon. We can actually use the orb of transmutation next time we go into town. And we cannot use a shield with a bow. I wish you could. The shields are pretty strong in this game. But if you see any blue packs, you can maybe shoot them a couple times and drag them. Ooh, this is great. This is a 3 green. And we can use a transmute on this because I think I actually want to use it. Okay, okay, I'll take this. It's going to give us extra damage, and it gives us... I guess this one gave us some life, too. That doesn't give us dex. But this is 3, like, of those ones linked. I'm going to put my shrapnel ballista over here, and I'm going to move dash over here. So I want to have my ballista have potential for more, like, links. And we're going to add more links later. So I'll show you what the shrapnel ballista does. It's a little like shotgun turret, but it does cost quite a bit of mana in the very beginning. So ideally what you do is you throw down like 2 and you just keep on moving, keeping it pushing. Ooh, I'll grab that mana flask. And you can take 3 copies of the same flask and then upgrade them, but it's fine. We already have an upgraded flask. We're okay. But you just go to the vendor, you get 3 copies of the same flask, and then you give it to him. Oops. Also, don't pop 2 of your movement speed flasks at the same time. If there's any other modifiers, sometimes you can get whatever is in like the blue, but these are not blue. They're just like the regulars right now. And eventually, we're not going to have to pop life and mana flasks at all. What we're going to be able to do is get leech. If you ever played Diablo 2, it's like that. Which is awesome. I'm going to push for this damage over here. And then we're going to actually get some more HP very soon. This boss is actually kind of hard. You don't have to kill him. But yeah, he hits very, very hard. I'm going to throw some of these turrets over here. So we can have up to 3 of these ballistas. Don't stand on the blue explosions. They do damage. But the turrets will make quick use out of them. Okay, and he's almost gone. Let's see, charged up. Okay, we got another quiver. I'll pick up this. And later, we don't have to pick up every single item that we see. It's just in the very beginning. I just needed some scrolls of wisdom so I can get some extra skills. Actually, we should probably pick up all the garbage right now still. And some items we may want to keep, and we actually have a little storage, a stash space that we can use. So now we're going to start putting it into HP. get some resistance. Remember, any red, green, and blue linked, we want to grab those. It's gonna be good. Now we're gonna go towards the climb. Remember, those can't really engage with them now. We'll go to it during Act 2, also because I want to get Act 1 is done as quickly as possible, because Act 1 is actually one of the longest acts in the entire game. But we're just moving along from the climb. You can just throw a couple of these down, move it along. But if they're blue, you may want to like pick up the chest. The scroll of wisdom. We can see if the flask is in an upgrade. Where's that scroll of wisdom? Oh, we have 14. So we have reduced amount recovered, but we get to have percent of it as instant recovery sometimes. I think this one's just a full instant recovery. But yeah, it's pretty good because when you pop a flask in this game, you heal over time, and if it's instant, that means it gives it to you instantly. Usually towards the end of the game, you don't want anything but the instant recovery, because if you don't, the regen might not kick in and you're going to be dead before it's able to activate. So it's nice. But how I build my characters is I never like to hit flasks, and I have all my flasks automatically activate when certain conditions are met. It's way smoother, and it is so awesome, but we don't get to engage with that until later in the game. Can maybe use 2 life flasks, honestly, right now. We'll get some more HP, and it'll be better. Because right now, I want to say we are kind of squishy, but we're just about to get some extra life nodes, and we haven't gotten any like bonus life items yet. If you see an elite or any like blue monsters, again, throwing down your shrapnel ballistas will definitely help out. Let's see, scepter, nope, can't really use any of those. But if you see any like rings, usually you want to pick those up. Ooh. Some of these guys can hit for quite a bit. This guy actually hits for a ridiculous amount, so you can skip out on him if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and kill him, but yeah, these guys, they just hit for ridiculous amounts. Okay. That's one of the unique enemies, so maybe we can get an upgrade here. Let's see, what did we get here? So let's try to keep it pushing as well. Let's see, we got extra life, armor, but this doesn't have 3 linked. But it's got cold, lightning resistance. I kind of want it for the lightning, the cold resistance, and then over here, this will be a nice upgrade for us. So we have increased, let's see, regenerate. Oh, this one's way better, so I'm going to swap this. Sometimes it's all about playing inventory Tetris. You got to move things around, and then this one's going to be much better for us. And then our gloves are going to be our main source of our, like, our linkage right now. Usually how it works in the very beginning is you have one item and you keep it for a while because it has all the correct colors and things that you want. Now, we are going to be in the lower prison, and in this lower prison over here, we're going to want to get this Trial of Ascendency done. So grab the waypoint over here. I want to keep it pushing, and we're looking for this thing called the Trial of Ascendency, and I'll show you guys it once we get to it. Oh, we got to it right there. So you'll see that there's a little book on the mini map, which looks just like that, and you want to go towards it, and it has kind of like a mini game. So this is going to be used to advance our class later. So you can click on this. It actually says some pretty cool stuff, but I'm going to skip out on it. So how these work is it's kind of like a mini game. So how this works is there's spikes, and you just kind of follow the spikes. And if the spikes hit you, you don't die instantly, but you will take massive amounts of damage. So I'm going to hit this lever. It's going to open up a gate. I'm going to wait for the spikes to go all the way through. And now we're going to continue. Now they have these little areas that you have as like little like checkpoints that you can go towards, but like you can take the damage. Just make sure you have a flask, because if you don't, you're gonna die. But it's fine. These will get much harder. There's like these little mini games. But how these ones work, they work in a checkered pattern. So it'll go right here, and then it's gonna go over there. But honestly, if you want to, you can just dash up here and you can skip all on the mechanics. Throw down some shrapnel ballistas, and bam, it's good. Let's go ahead and now click on this. When you click on the trial, there's going to be 6 trials before we get to advance our class to the super class for the first one. And there are several of these that we're going to need to do. Now, we have another passive point. I'm going to get this extra life. And we're going to keep it moving. And at any point, if you die, don't worry. It's not a big deal. Just go back in from where you last left off. That's one thing that's very important with this game is, as a beginner, you will die. I've been playing this game for thousands and thousands of hours. And we already had a couple close calls, but with the ranger in general, how it works is most of the time you take no damage, but when you take damage, it hits pretty hard because you evade. You literally take no damage, or you take big damage because you don't have any sources of damage reduction. Now later in the game, we will get some sources of physical damage mitigation, but in the very earlier stages, you're not going to get very much because we scale evasion. Wait, so whetstone. So what whetstones do is they'll increase our weapon. It's DPS, but it's not really super useful because it's based off of a percent. And when we deal like 5 to 13, 20% is not much when we max them out. You can upgrade a weapon to 20 quality by just using whetstones, and it can go further than that. But this is more so for like the super late end game. It's not really that big of a deal now. The better thing to do is just get an upgrade via getting a new weapon. But let's keep it pushing, and we're gonna go towards the next area. There's no other quests until we get to the ship graveyard. We're gonna pick up all the wisdoms, at least in the first act, because later on you're gonna want them, and if you run out, you can purchase them at the vendor. Also in this game, if you ever notice that you're taking lots of damage over time, it's usually a bleed. And if you walk in this game, you take more bleeding damage. So what we're doing from the upper prison, we're going to look for the warden's quarters. We're going to fight a boss style.
I'm not up to
And this guy, he's actually quite tough.
quite sure of
They've made him a lot tougher in an update like about a year ago. But he's a cool boss fight. Just the way he engages you is pretty cool too. Oh, let's go up here. Sometimes you gotta see where the little like hole is, and that's where you gotta go in the game. Make sure you got your shrapnel ballista ready, as it will significantly help you out. You can also open up these barrels. Sometimes there's items in these barrels, but let's keep on going. So he like hooks you instantly. So throw down all your shrapnel ballistas. Start going to town on him. Remember, 3 is how many you can throw out. Your shrapnel ballistas can also take damage. They don't last forever. So they have a duration and they have HP. But they're so easy. This boss fight is actually quite tough for like melee characters. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that was close. If I didn't dash over there, it might have been RIP. But yeah, Act 1 is actually one of the harder acts in the game. We have a tunic over here, maybe a helmet. I'll take this item too. And then let's see if we have any upgrades over here. So we didn't need to identify that one, but let's see the helm. Let's see, what do we have with this? Oh, it's got cold res. Anything with cold resistance you want. The reason why is that the final boss of Act 1 does cold damage. Now we're going to the Prisoner's Gate. Click on this. Keep on going. Actually, you know what we can do? We can go back to town real quick. So Lion Eyes Watch is the name of the town, but I'm sure you guys probably already figured that out a while ago. But now what we're going to do is we're going to sell all the stuff that we aren't using. And then now we also get another reward. So what do we want? We get lesser multiple projectiles and get faster attacks, void manipulation, arrow nova, mana forged arrows, added cold damage. These are all great options. So which one do I want? I want to get the added cold damage, and I'm going to throw it on our ballista. So now my ballista, oh, wherever my ballista is, where is it? Shrapnel ballista. I'm going to put shrapnel ballista and added cold damage. So I have dash in here, and you might not have the exact same gems, and you might have to put them in other locations. But I'm going to see if we can get an upgrade for a bow, because we are well overdue for a bow upgrade. By the way, all the vendors will give you the same results in terms of what they give you. There's not like, oh, this vendor's going to give you more items. I'm not going to do this right now either. Okay. So hopefully we can get some movement speed boots. We got another reward over here. We can run precision. Okay, this is good. So this is going to give us extra accuracy. And I'll show you what an aura does. So we can also go check if he's got any upgrades for bows. Specifically, this is 5 to 13 with some fire resistance. Unfortunately, nothing here. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. I know my face is blocking it, but I'm just going to pick up the item. What level are we right now? 10? All right. So 8 to 33, obviously better than 5 to 33, but this has got an attack speed of 1.4, so you'd have to factor that in as well, but this is going to be way better. We are well overdue for an upgrade, and if I had a transmute, I would throw it on this just to see if we can get any upgrades here. But it's fine. It's going to be an upgrade nonetheless. If you want to see your DPS changes, if you do this, you hit C as in cat, and then you can actually check out your damage. Make sure you select the right skill. So our skill is Galvanic Arrow, right? So if I go to my damage, as long as the Galvanic Arrow is still linked, like it's not in the bow, we can check how much damage. So you can see the damage per second, 110 versus 80, 79.7 versus 110. Obviously 110 is bigger, so we want that one. That is not actually true with all skills, though. There are certain things that you cannot measure in there, and the certain things that you wouldn't be able to measure would be like if I'm shooting multiple projectiles, and even though the damage is lower, it may hit the target multiple times. Yeah, we do want to eventually pick up some of the... Let's see, this gives us... this gives us regen, it gives us physical and cold res. I'm probably not going to get something better than that. So I'm going to pick this up, and like I said, you want to get as much cold resistance as possible. Yeah, I mean, leather belt isn't really bad either, just to get some more HP, because the amount of global physical damage, you want to see how much damage we get with this. The only important number is this one, where it says 118. Right now we get about 10% DPS increase, so it is worth it. But later on, it's going to be very minor, and like the HP will probably be worth it. But we'll swap to it when we need to, if we need to. And now our damage is going to be way better. And now our Shrapnel Ballista is going to cost more. Oh, also we just got our first aura, which was Precision. Let's throw it in somewhere. Okay, so if I activate this, you'll see our mana goes from 144 to 122, and it says Reserve 22. So that means there's 22 mana that I can't even use for my build. But in return, I get this aura. And aura is just going to give us some free extra buffs. So that buff is going to be extra accuracy, which is our chance to hit, as well as our crit. So I'm going to throw down our ballistas, and I can go ahead and not pay attention and get some stuff done. Oh, ooh, ooh. Wow, that thing did so much damage. It's because it was fire damage, and I've probably got 0 fire resistance. This will give us lightning resistance, but we don't really need lightning resistance. The more important thing to get in the earlier stages of the game, she's going to make that area inaccessible, but later we will open it up.
I'm not up to that just
Maybe
yet.
towards the top left now. Oh, we have another unique monster. Man, this guy's doing some pretty big burn damage. But there are certain things in Path of Exile, like if I didn't tell you, if you were bleeding, if you moved, you take more damage, you probably wouldn't have like known. So I got this transmute over here. I'm going to throw it on here and see what it does. You have to unequip the item. Now we have extra dexterity and 2 to 7 cold damage. Sweet, that's a nice little buff. It's not much, but in the very beginning, like any flat amount of damage is going to be huge. You can get hundreds of damage by just getting like 5 to 10 physical damage. That can actually give you hundreds of damage later in the game. The reason why is everything starts scaling and multiplies off of all these numbers, and you get a lot more numbers, basically. But how are our resistances? So I'm going to click on the defense tab over here. You can see where it's offense, defense, and we have just cold res right now, which is the only thing that really matters. These goat guys do fire damage, but I would say lightning resistance isn't like a priority stat. I'm going to see if we get movement speed on this. Anytime we can get movement speed, it's like an automatic upgrade. Okay. Well. Also, I should probably talk about energy shield. So we have our HP, which is our life. Then we have that thing that's above our life called shield. That's a little like, it almost looks like a moon shape. So that gets depleted before our life, with the exception of taking what's called chaos damage, which is a special type of damage type in the game. We're getting into our first strong boxes. So these are a little bit dangerous. If you open up these chests, they have a special modifier. I can actually use a scroll of identity identifying it, and this one summons skeletons. The only one that's really dangerous is like it freezes you as soon as it opens. It's really mean because it just basically deletes most players in the very beginning. But it can drop some good stuff. Okay, so it also set everything on fire, so I have to wait till it goes away. Got an alteration over here. level up all our skills. You want to level up everything ASAP so you get more XP for it. We have another skill point. We're going to get some extra resistances soon. Oops. We're going to apply the changes and keep on going. Oh, we're going to go up over here. And later we're going to get a bunch more auras and everything's going to start coming together real fast. What was this giving us? Oh, yeah, it's 41 evasion. And I'll show you guys how to trade items in the game. There's just so much knowledge that's required to play PoE. It's crazy, but that's part of the game. And we're going to come up to our next quest. It's going to be giving us a skill point. So make sure you grab the waypoint over here. And if you're not sure if you didn't grab the waypoint or not, you can open it up and you can find out. Like if it has a little like circle here. I can't teleport at any time though. I have to be in an area that lets me. We talk to Fargraves. He's going to tell us to get the All Flame. We're going to go grab that. If you do want to listen to any of the dialogue for the campaign, you can feel free to go do so. Obviously, we're just going to go through the whole walkthrough of the game, and that's kind of unnecessary here. I think most people just kind of want to play the game. So let's see if we got movement speed. Movement speed is not super rare, but we just got super unlucky. What do we have with this? Extra life. What does this give us? Strength, armor, energy, mana. Okay. Stun and block. This gives us 4 life and intelligence. Alright, so what we're looking for once we get to Fargraves, we're looking for the ship graveyard cave. We're going to get this item. And like I said, we'll engage with the new mechanic next act. This game has a total of 10 acts. And once you complete all 10 acts, then you could start doing the endgame content. And for this first part of our play session, I'm doing this offline. But we will be streaming the entirety of our entire walkthrough play session on YouTube, Twitch, and on TikTok. So if you guys have any questions and you guys are wondering, you guys can let me know in the comments. But it's going to be much better if you just go to my live stream because I can answer you immediately and you don't have to wait. But like any questions with this game is tough. And if you want to know how certain things work, I will answer it. I've got thousands and thousands of hours in this game, and it's a great game. Highly can recommend it. Also, since we're in kind of like a down season right now of like Diablo, it's a great game to play in between other action RPGs. Okay, so we're gonna talk to the slave girl. We're gonna get the All Flame. That's all we need. And usually by her, this one you don't have to hit like escape and leave that thing because you're gonna be able to get a kind of a checkpoint usually next to her. And Fargraves, I could exit the game, reload in, but you see where the waypoint is? It's pretty close by, so I'm just gonna walk. And it also depends on your computer's load speed. If your computer's load speed sucks, doing the strategy of logging out is not good. Or if the servers are getting stressed, which can happen, you're stuck in the login queue. Alright, so we're gonna talk to Fargraves over here. And he's gonna try to fight us, and we're gonna get another skill point over here. Woo, we leveled up. But yeah, these little like shrapnel ballistas, now they got some extra cold damage. It's gonna be nice. Okay. Now we got some fire res, but again, cold res is the thing that we want. Oh, he's gonna pop. I think sometimes what happens in this game is the enemies will pop as they die, and it's one of the most frustrating things to run into. We got this. Let's see if this is any good. We got lightning and fire res. This one has cold res though. But what do I want? I mean, this one is just going to be better. It's got 86 evasion. So let me actually go talk about defenses just here for a second. So you can see the estimated amount of damage reduction from armor. That's what we get. And the evasion rating we have is 104, which gives us 21% chance to just not take damage. Now if I swap to this, bam, we have 38% chance to just not take any damage, which obviously is pretty big. Now, Shrapnel Bliss, unfortunately, I can't link it anymore. That's the trade-off because this thing had links, but I think it's worth it. We can also, if I want to increase the armor, that's another option as well. What does this give us? It's giving us regen, some small life. This is giving us fire, lightning. That's almost like kind of worth it. This is giving us 15 life. It really depends on what we want. I don't really mind keeping this because it's got the green sockets. We can actually trade these to the vendor. And let's go ahead and continue. We're going to get to the next waypoint and then pretty much wrap up Act 1 pretty soon. Act 1 is quite long though. That's why I wanted to just blaze through it as quickly as possible. But we will, like I said, we'll engage with the new mechanic in Act 2, as Act 1 might not even be worth it. We really need to get some boots with movement speed. And then see if we can get another one of those rings with some cold res. Because we're going to be coming up to the final boss. Ooh, an item drop. Orb of Alchemy. This is great. This is going to make a item that is white converted into a rare item. However, I recommend you guys to save these as we're going to be using it to trade. Now, if you didn't get one, don't worry. It's not a big deal. My whole goal is to show you guys how to play the game. And if you can't engage, like you're like, I don't have this item. I can't like do what he's doing at this moment. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to show you when I get an item, kind of how it works, and sometimes I will legitimately waste the currency just to show you guys how it actually works, because that's important. I'll teach you guys how to play the game.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Where is this exit? Sometimes you get really unlucky and it's super far away. I'm just gonna throw a couple of these and move on. But I love like the Mirage Archer. It's like one of my favorite things to play with. If you see any armor, scrap, or whetstones, you can pick them up. They're not really like super valuable, but what they do is they can increase the damage on a weapon. But you'll see, like, I think I have one whetstone. Okay, I have 2. So I'll show you what it does. See how our damage is 8 to 33. If I put 1 on, we have 8 to 34. Now, is it worth doing? I mean, honestly, at the very beginning, like these are worth like next to nothing, so it's fine. Oh, cool! We got another sapphire ring. Now, if I had a, doesn't this have cold res? Or, oh, we had one that had cold res. Okay, good. But this one over here, I do want to keep because I want to maybe use. I'm not going to use my alchemy on it. That'd be an absolute waste because I can trade that and get a unique item. Now I'm going to go to the waypoint. I'm going to go back to Lionized Watch, the town. Okay. And then we're going to sell all of the items, and we'll probably got some quest rewards. All right, we got Reeve, Tox, Ring. Sometimes they change what you can get as rewards. Lightning Arrow is what I actually want. Siege Ballista is a good choice as well. I recommend probably getting Lightning Arrow because of the way it interacts. It now has range, and I definitely want that.
Farewell.
And we're going to talk to Bestel. We'll get a skill point for doing the Marooned Mariner. And we are now going to activate this. And now I'm going to forego my Galvanic Arrow. I'm done with it. If you want to continue using it, hey, by all means, go for it. I'm just going to give you the recommendation of Lightning Arrow actually has range. This one has no range, so it is superior. And then we can get rid of that. Let's get rid of anything that we're not going to be using. I was hoping we can get a Essence, and I was going to show you guys how that works. But now that we have the Sapphire Ring, that's much better. Oh, we got a Topaz Ring because we sold that certain combo. So let's see if there's any upgrades. So remember, ours is 8 to 34 with 2 to 7 cold. This one over here, wow, look at that. That thing's got 3 to 50 lightning damage. That's massive. I wish I could get this. I don't have the transmutes. Let's see. This one's pretty good too. I mean, what is ours right now? 8 to 34. I mean, that's like way better. But you actually have to like factor in a lot of other things with this item. It's not just like the damage. You can look at all the things that it's adding, the attack speed. So if I could get 2 transmutes, which I can get 1 right now, it'd cost 7 portal scrolls. I'm not really interested in using 7 portal scrolls for that. So I'm going to continue. Oh, you can get, cost 2 orbs of alchemy for that. That's ridiculous. Do we get movement speed? No. Okay.
Hello.
But if you don't have, you should usually carry them for 3 scrolls of wisdom and put 2 of these. I actually just got 1 as a drop. I think we got 2 as a drop, right? Or I might have purchased one of them from her. But ideally, you want to purchase those from her if you need to get the resistances. Oh wait, what's that? Oh, 1 to 5 lightning. It's giving us good decks too, but I don't have an orb of chance. So now we're just going to continue. I have 2 skill points, and I'm going to get extra resistances. So I get more elemental damage since we do a lightning damage. That's going to be awesome. And this is good for movement speed. I do want to grab those very soon as well, but getting this resistances is key here, as now we have 37 cold res, and we're going to increase that even further very soon. I'm going to swap this ring for this one once we get to the boss. So now we're in the Cavern of Wrath, and what we're looking for is the area where we're going to be fighting the boss. And we're level 13 right now, and you'll see now our arrow only shoots 1. However, it's still worth it because how lightning arrow works is it will hit targets next to it. If I mouse over it, what does it say? Oh, we have a augmentation. So augmentation, I have to unequip the item to be able to use it. But see how we only have one mod on this item? If I use this, I'm gonna have 2 mods. Now I regenerate life. Now I can't just keep on adding mods because it's only a blue. It's gonna only have 2 in this circumstance. There are certain special items that can have more, but you can also add more projectiles by adding what's called lesser multiple projectiles, and we'll eventually use it. Or we can get more arrows other ways. But when you add lesser multiple projectiles, what happens is you will like lose out on damage. Ooh, we may have an upgrade with this bow, depending on what it does. Oh, it's a massive amount of lightning damage. Wow. It's a huge amount. Okay, let's grab this. See if it's an upgrade. I like to put my scrolls here. This is like just a little tip. It just makes things a lot easier, so you always know where everything is. Wow, that's like a... that was really lucky. It's a triple linked cold fire. I mean, this is the most damage that we're going to be getting. Like, watch our damage right here. So, on our damage, we have 246 with lightning arrow, and now we're at 500. That was actually quite lucky what we got. But now I want to move this over here because these gloves could easily be replaced, as I was really only using those gloves for the linkage, and that's totally normal. But wow, that's insane. We just got a massive DPS buff. And also, you may have to reactivate your buffs if you had changed the location of like the gem. I actually really do like getting the movement speed because we didn't get boots with movement speed, so I'm gonna at least get the 9%, getting 2 of these here. And sometimes I kind of play it flexible, like as in like when I do these walkthroughs, I don't have an exact path that I go every single time. If I got boots with movement speed, I can get extra damage, and you know, you can use the pinned comment as kind of a reference on where you should be going. But if you want to go kind of out of order, it's totally fine. But go relatively close to what you see, because if you go too far off, your build may brick, and that is totally possible. There are certain items and certain skill points on the skill tree that will make you have lower HP. In fact, there's one of them called Chaos Inoculations, which converts your HP to 1. And if you like decide to select that, you can go back. This game, you are permanent in your decision in terms of like, you can't just remove skill points immediately, but you can later respec, but it's going to cost these Orb of Regrets. So let's go see if we have movement speed. Still no movement speed, man. That's unlucky. But next level, we're going to get extra movement speed. And movement speed is actually a defensive stat in this game. You see, we're bleeding. If I move, we're going to be taking more damage. If you mouse over it, it will tell you. Oh, there's the exit right there.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Do we want to gain a level? Okay, so I'm going to use this transmute on that ring over here. Let's see what we get. Oh, extra life. That's great. I'm going to throw this on. And now we're going to have awesome 59 cold resistance. Let's get to the next act. Let's go. So we should be able to defeat this, no problem. But if I want to see if there's any last defensive changes, we can go back. We can go check and see if there's anything better that has better cold resistance on maybe like the boots, because these boots suck. Like, there's no movement speed on them, and they have no cold res. So if I can get something with some cold res over here, that would be ideal. Oh, we got, hey, movement speed. Let's go. Nice. It's 10. It's not much, but hey, it's counting. Let's see. Our helmet's totally fine, actually. It's giving us lots of evasion. We can maybe see if there's another piece of gear that, let's say, for example, this could easily be replaced. If I see anything that says like cold res, making some last, purchases before the boss fight is always good. And we really are going to get a better bow than this. This was actually really lucky that we got that. And I don't need this bow now, so I can get rid of it. And, I mean, this doesn't really matter. I'm just going to sell it. Let's get rid of everything. And let's see if Vanessa... Maybe she has got one with cold resist plus another stat. And I think we're pretty much good on this. We don't really need to do anything. Oh, this amulet actually sucks. Let me see if we can get a better amulet. I just noticed what we had for our amulet. So, we can get extra dex. We don't even have an Orbitrans. So, not going to be an upgrade here in that department, but that's fine. We could look at a leather belt. Let's see. Leather belts. Oh, let's see. You can get 35 life. That's actually quite a bit. It's like over 10% extra HP. I would say that this could be worth it, but I'm going to skip out on it. So we can get like, what's the amount of damage we get on this? It's like nothing. 18, right? So this, in this circumstance, like that amount of damage is not worth the like 12% life that it's giving us. So now we have 320, and you can also destroy items by just throwing them there. All right, so now let's go back to our portal, and I didn't use a portal at all because I was doing a little log out strategy, but yeah, you just click on it, you're gonna enter your portal again, no problem. And now we're going to go to the Cavern of Anger. Working towards the boss. Got a strong box over here. Remember, throw down your ballistas.
My mana is gone.
Oh, you know, another thing is we can actually get a couple of different auras. Let me actually do that before the boss fight. So after we complete the Marooned Mariner, there's a lot of like items that open up, more gems will open up. A lot of quests in this game will actually open up the doors for extra gems. And I'm going to show you guys, look how many extra gems there are. So if you want to type in the word support, it'll show all the support gems. If you want the aura gems, if I can spell, if you want to get the aura gems, that's available as well. Some of them will require you to have strength, dexterity, intelligence. That will require you to have a certain stat. So this one is pretty good. Now, I would like to grab this one, and that's going to give us 12 life regenerated per second, but I don't have the strength required for this. This one, I don't have the intelligence. I do want both of these. If we can level up 2 times, let's see. We're about to level up, and there is, let's see, our strength, dex, and int are all over here if I hit C. Now, this node we're going to grab. These do the same thing on the small ones, but ideally, maybe we can grab this. If I do grab it, that will give us the strength and int that we need to actually use both of those. So which one do I want?
Hello.
As far as the boss goes, I think it would be better to grab the... Oops, we're going to go to the second tab over here. So if we go to the auras, I would probably like to get this one, and then we're going to also grab this one later. But we don't have the currency right now to grab both. If I want to grab any of the other linkage right now, like I have Shrapnel Ballista, let's see what other support gems we can grab for it. So if I want to see if it works, I mouse over it, and you see in the top left, it says supportable skills. It'll say like dash, lightning arrow, shrapnel ballista. Some of these will not work for certain skills, and that is important to check out, because if it does not work with it, well, it's not going to work. Like chance to poison. Let's see, we have volley support. Less from multiple projectiles, faster attacks. That would be great for the Shrapnel Ballista, but it requires an Orb of Transmutation, and I don't want to give up all of my portal scrolls for it. But keep in mind, the vendors will sell you more skills. But we couldn't even use the one anyways because we didn't have the strength for it. But we may be able to level up twice here. If I wanted to level up twice, it wouldn't be that bad. So we level up once. I'm going to see if we can level up twice. If I can level up twice, I will go ahead and equip the vitality to show you guys, because giving that extra life regen is quite nice. Ideally we'd get the mana regen one too, and we can activate both of them. That way I don't have to pop mana flasks and life flasks hopefully for a while. And those ones, when you start leveling them up too high, it's going to start reserving more and more mana, and that's one instance where you may not want to level up things. But I might get the movement speed one instead, depending on if we level up again or not. So you can always hold, if you hit tab, it shows the level. Like this is level 13, we are level 15, so we are over leveled by 2 levels, which is totally fine. It's better to be over leveled than under leveled, but you, in theory, get more XP, so sometimes people like to not kill as many monsters in an area. With that, that's more of a speedrunning strategy, so I didn't level up, it's no problem. I'm going to get extra movement speed, or I can get some extra damage. No biggie. Eventually, we're going to get this anyways, because we need to get some stats so you can use pieces of gear. So now we're going to go ahead and go in. Now, this boss does cold damage, so ideally, if you don't have sapphire rings, go to the vendor and get them. If you can't afford them, don't worry. If you die, don't worry. Getting Path of Exile is not an easy game. But Lightning Arrow is one of the best skills because it hits pretty hard. On top of that, we have a pretty decent bow. But just shoot once or twice and move. Don't hold still. If any of those things hit you, you can get chilled, and then you move slower, and then you start getting hit by multiple, and then it's a bad time. So she actually has 2 forms. That was her first form. She's actually one of the more difficult bosses in the game. No joke. Like this for some people could be the hardest boss in the game, because by the time you get to like Act 2, you can maybe get a unique bow, like with that little Orb of Alchemy that we got. We can get like a unique bow, and basically most of the game will be a face roll for us. But the reason why this boss can be hard is because she can chill you, whereas other bosses you can just kind of go along with relatively fast because you'll have so much damage. Like that was a pretty easy fight for us because Lightning Arrow is really good. So now we finished the entirety of the first act. So since the first part is going to be a little bit longer, I'm just going to get to Act 2, and then that's going to be ending Part 1 once we get to the next act. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be streaming the rest of the playthrough, so I'll be talking to the chat, and if you guys want to come on through to the Twitch or YouTube, whatever you prefer, go ahead, and I'll try to answer any of your guys' questions regarding the game, as this game is not easy. Or you just comment down below, and I'll try to get back to you. And check the pinned comment. There's going to be a lot of information there, in case any of you guys want any of the different tools that I use, like the path of building, which kind of shows you the entirety of the path. You'll notice that my path may be different, and that is because what I plan to do for the YouTube playthrough now, because I usually just show you guys like the end board, but I'm going to show you guys the whole process in terms of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Act 1 ending board, so you guys will see exactly this at the very end. In fact, this was something that, so I take your guys' feedback. When I looked at the comments, someone asked, can you show the tree when you end each act? So this is what the tree looks like currently for us right now. And again, try to copy it pretty much. If you want to get like one other point to the side, it's not that big a deal. But like if you go way far off and you're like, I want to grab this thing over here, your build could basically brick. I'm going to be straight up with you because you cannot just remove points at any point. Later in the endgame, feel free to do more experimentation. Feel free to swap off bow, use spells, and do all these things. You can do it with this build because Raider is one of the flexible classes in the game. There are certain classes. Right now we're Ranger, but Ranger can be converted to other classes, but let's not get too far into other things until we get there. But that's going to wrap up Act 1. Part 1 of our brand new Path of Exile Affliction playthrough. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you guys want to see Part 2, and this is your first time here, hit subscribe. I'm going to be dropping videos back to back to back. I'm going to slam this out for you guys, so you guys will have access to it, so you guys have this weekend, and blast through Path of Exile. This game is going to be so much fun for all you guys coming from Diablo 4. It is a blast. I like both games. I'm going to be continuing to play both games, but that's going to wrap up Part 1, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.